So friends, I have some bad news from lawmakers in Congress. On President Biden's economic agenda, Senator Joe Manchin has just revealed new changes that he wants to be made to the legislation. That is before it is signed into law. Democrats are also trying to reach a deal before this new deadline. So dear friends, please make sure you watch until the end of this video for all of these new details. I will also be giving away a $75 Walmart gift card 4 days a week. If you would like to enter the giveaways, please make sure you click and like several of my videos, and then comment below the keyword of each video that you watch. The more videos that you comment on with the keyword, the greater chance of winning the Walmart gift card. And friends, the next giveaway is scheduled for tomorrow, so please stay tuned for that video.
About housing, how much it costs, how hard it is to find. The headlines tell the stories. The housing shortage isn't just a social crisis anymore. Why high housing costs could keep climbing. High costs spur more baby boomers to find roommates. What's up with the crazy housing market? That's just headline. Those are just headlines in the past month. It's not a new problem. Wages haven't kept up with the cost of housing for years and years. This country hasn't done enough to produce the housing we need. From 2000 to 2015, 23 states, about half the country, fell 7.3 million homes short on housing production. The shortage, of course, makes housing more expensive. Congress hasn't done its job for years. It was just last year that we hosted in this committee the first hearing on the state of housing in America in nearly a decade. One of the first things we did after I took the chairmanship. We talk about housing so much because it's the foundation of everything else in our lives. Where you live determines so much about your life. Where you work, where your children go to school, where you do your grocery shopping. It eats up the biggest chunk of most people's paychecks. Matthew Desmond, the author of Evicted, says the rent eats first. When housing costs go up, it means less money left over for groceries and gas and school supplies and prescription drugs. For a lot of families, it means crippling stress at the end of each month. How do I pay my rent? After I pay my rent, do I pay my electric bill or water bill or internet or daycare or pay off the credit card or make a payment on the credit card, more likely? For years, the market hasn't produced enough housing that working people can afford. Home health aides and nursing assistants and restaurant workers working full-time have long been paid too little to afford even a one-bedroom apartment, let alone fulfill the dream of actually owning their own home. Meanwhile, young aspiring home buyers have long faced insurmountable barriers to home ownership. They're crushed by student loan debt. Black and brown families' parents were denied the dream of home ownership or had it ripped out from under them by predatory lending and can't help them with the down payment as many kids have been able to be helped. Over the past 2 years, with low rates making monthly mortgage costs just a little.
Centrist Senator Joe Manchin pumped the brakes on negotiations with Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer over a budget reconciliation bill, warning that it needs to be scrubbed much better after a new report showed that inflation hit 9.1% in June. Joe Manchin told reporters he is not sure if he can agree to anything beyond the prescription reform component of the bill, which has already been sent to the Senate Parliamentarian's office and has the support of all 50 members of the Democratic caucus. Senator Joe Manchin stated, "We know what we can pass is basically the prescription pricing on Medicare. Is there any more we can do? I don't know, but I'm very, very cautious. And I'm going to make sure that I have every input on scrubbing everything humanly possible that could be considered inflammatory." Manchin also said that the deficit reduction is going to be 50% of the new revenue gained from prescription savings and tax reforms. This is such as a 3.8% tax on wealthy individuals and couples who earn more than $400,000 or $500,000 a year. Senator Manchin did not rule out including a provision to continue the subsidies of health insurance plans provided under the Affordable Care Act, explaining that whether he could agree to extended subsidies would depend on how they are drafted and paid for. So he told reporters this week, "It depends on if we can look at things and find a pathway forward that is not inflammatory." Inflation has been the Federal Reserve's enemy number one in 2022, and the Federal Open Market Committee has made aggressive changes to U.S. monetary policy to bring inflation down to its long-term target rate of around 2%. In June, the Federal Open Market Committee raised its target range for the federal funds rate by 75 basis points, its first interest rate hike of that size since November 1994. Several Fed governors have suggested that one or two additional 75 basis point rate hikes may be appropriate to curb inflation. So friends, what are your thoughts about interest rates going up? Do you think that will be the cure to reduce inflation? Please let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. Friends, the key word for this video is Yukon River. If you would like to enter tomorrow's Walmart gift card giveaway, please click and like several of my videos and then comment below this keyword, which is Yukon River, and additional keywords of any video of mine that you watch. And do make sure that you're also subscribed to my channel. Thank you so much, friends. Also, friends, according to the latest Yahoo News poll, just 18% of Americans say that President Biden should run for re-election in 2024. That is the lowest number to date. Nearly 64% of respondents say he should bow out. And for the first time ever, more Democrats now say that President Biden should pass on a second term than he should pursue one. The survey of adults in the United States represents perhaps the starkest evidence to date of President Biden's deteriorating position with voters, including those in his own party. Since late May, the number of Americans who say that President Biden should run for re-election has fallen by 7 points. Among Democrats, that number has fallen by 8 points. Meanwhile, when asked who they would rather see as a Democratic nominee for president in 2024, only about a quarter of Democrats and Democratic-leaning independents now say Biden. Fewer say Vice President Harris. Most say either someone else, and 30% say they're not sure. No U.S. president has declined to run for re-election since Democrat Lyndon B. Johnson in 1968, and Biden has repeatedly insisted, both publicly and privately, that he will compete for a second term. But given his old advanced age, in which he will turn 82 shortly after the next presidential election, and very low approval ratings, several news sources have published recent stories about Democrats' emerging interest in some sort of Plan B. Well, my awesome and amazing friends, that is the end of my daily stimulus update video. Thank you so much for joining me here this afternoon. I greatly appreciate every single one of you who are watching my videos. Thanks, friends.